Dear ASIJ family, friends, faculty, staff, and special guests, welcome to ASIJ's commencement ceremony for the class of 2023. Ms. Takano and I are honored to present together today as a reflection of ASIJ's 120-year history as an American school in Japan. Before we begin, we would like to cover some details for today's event.
We will be sharing this information in both English and Nihongo. Thank you for your understanding and support with these required expectations.
Please be sure to silence your cell phones at this time.
携帯電話をマナーモードにしていただくか、電源をお切りくださいますようお願い申し上げます。
Fuchu Nomori reminds us that masks are optional to wear inside the theater. Please wear your mask as you feel necessary.
府中の森芸術劇場の指導により、施設内でのマスク着用は個人の判断となっております。必要に応じてご着用ください。
At the conclusion of the event, please check for personal belongings and do not leave anything behind.
式典が終わりましたら、皆様お忘れ物のないようよくお確かめの上ご退場ください。
At the end of the ceremony, please wait to be excused after the graduates and the faculty exit. If you are a bus rider, we will direct you to buses going back to school at the back of the hall.
式典の最後に卒業生の退場の後、私どもがステージから退場させていただくまでお席をお立ちになるのをご遠慮ください。学校に戻るバスはホール裏側からご案内いたします。
We would now like to welcome the ASIJ High School faculty at this time.
ただいまよりハイスクール教師が入場させていただきます。
We would now like to welcome the ASIJ class of 2023 to the facility at this time.
ただいまより2023年度卒業生が入場いたします。
Thank you, seniors. Please be seated. Members of ASIJ's Board of Directors and Trustees, faculty and staff, parents, alumni, and friends, and most of all, our soon-to-be graduates. I am honored to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2023 for the American School in Japan. Welcome to those family and friends who are joining us today via our live stream. Thank you to all of the parents, staff, and faculty for all you have done to prepare these students for this moment. I sincerely appreciate you being here and hope that you enjoy the program. At this time, I welcome Student Body Class President Nozomi Grummel to the stage to introduce today's presenters and special guests. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hardin. At this time, I would like to introduce the additional people here on stage today. Miss Amy Zuber-Meehan is our high school principal. Dr. Brad Augustine, our associate high school principal. We will be hearing from Mr. Mark Johnson, who was elected by the class as the faculty speaker. And Ryan Hisada as our student speaker. Additionally, Ms. Kyoko Takano, the co-director of the Japan Center, Mr. Mike Nelson, the Dean of Student Life, and Mr. Marcus Okuno, the Vice Chair of the Board of Directors, will be joining us on stage for the presentation of the diplomas. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce Ryan Hisada as the student speaker for the class of 2023.
Parents, teachers, faculty, especially students, you know what to do. Mustangs! I've always wanted to do that. In fact, there are a lot of things that I've always wanted to do at ASIJ, like write for Daruma or use the thermocyclers in the biology rooms. Even some more exotic things, like running across the high school field half naked or jumping off the second floor instead of going down the stairs. But I'm not just saying this to be a little wistful in our last hour as seniors. I truly believe that as the class of 23, more than anything, we made things look fun. That's all sorts of things, from struggling with differential equations to jazzing in the courtyard. I mean, if the number of times we left class to watch the game counted as unexcused absences, most of us would not be graduating tonight. In fact, some of us were so patriotic, we left class to watch the debate finals. If that isn't Mustang spirit, I don't know what is. The point is that, as a class, we were involved in our school and in making our school culture fun. This is especially true of our music. I think it's undeniable that our class has some of the most talented musicians that ASIJ has seen. We dominated. Really, it's true. We dominated that courtyard. From jazz band to solos, we even invaded the library, which is the one place they tell us not to play music. But with exceptional music comes an exceptional culture, in which musicianship is not only respected, but encouraged. At ASIJ, we don't have band kids, we have students, like me and like you. The same is true of our art, though it may not be as ubiquitous as it is exceptional. With regard to art, our talents are selective and outstanding. Maybe you all remember earlier this year when our high school hallway featured a mural for Ally Week that extended across the whole library wall. No, it was not AI. Someone actually drew that. I personally think it makes sense that our grade has been so proficient at making student life fun, because historically, we have been very good at making fun of things. This includes, of course, our grading system. So, let me rephrase. We are not only proficient at making student life fun, we are exemplary. But on a more serious note, we are the first class to have truly outlived COVID. 2-3 years ago, all the comforts of in-person activities turned into the awkwardness of online ones. As a class, we had to navigate a new way of creating fun. And that wasn't easy. I'm sure many of you still remember taking selfies at home for downward dogs for 10th grade PE. I think I speak for most when I say, never again. So, of course, we yearn for the return of in-person activities, but in the meantime, we made online fun. Like in those breakout rooms. It's true, it wasn't always awesome. Sometimes you'd be the only one with your camera on, having to decide whether to turn it on to fit in or to keep it off because you've already done it for too long. Anyways, other times, you'd be in a small group where you'd be laughing so hard you had to mute yourself. And that, I think, is an amazing memory we all share in common. Though, I'd be remiss to talk only about the entertaining memories of our class, because part of fun is engagement, and engagement entails a degree of seriousness. One particular characteristic of our grade is that we are unusually politically active. Looking at our 4 years, this makes a lot of sense. In freshman year, we watched the Black Lives Matter movement grow into a global phenomenon. In sophomore year, we witnessed an attack on the Capitol and the rise of mass shootings, and with no closure, our junior year featured one of the most impactful reversals of women's rights in recent history. More than most others, our grade experienced high school under calamitous political developments. But our conceptual engagement with the world has prepared us to tackle issues at home that we never truly addressed before. This year, in our senior year, when we gathered as a school to talk about sexual assault and harassment, we had the maturity to listen to our peers and the humility to acknowledge that we had learned something new, though uncomfortable, about our own community. I think this is characteristic of a class that has spent its last 4 years toiling over some of the world's most pressing issues. Just listen to our service clubs. We talk about climate change in the context of gender inequality, the shame of homelessness with regard to Japanese culture, and the efficacy of an English education for Ukrainian refugees and Cambodian children. We have this uniquely intersectional understanding of the world that stems from our conceptual interactions with recent global issues. And that's a blessing in one way, but in other ways, it's a limitation. The fact that our interactions are conceptual and not tangible means that at ASIJ, the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't really affect us. Neither does the proliferation of gun violence, nor the raging wars around the world. It is true that for the past 4 years, we have been sheltered within the so-called ASIJ bubble. And that's not our fault, but we do have to acknowledge its existence. Because tomorrow, the bubble pops. Tomorrow, our conceptual becomes our reality. We are entering a world of which we have been taught about, but have not experienced. And that can be scary, but it's not our first time. Earlier in the speech, I emphasized our ability to create fun. I want to remind you all that that wasn't always the case. Under pandemic restrictions, the rhetoric was very much, don't you wish you could do this? Or, I wish I could do that. It's true that we managed within the limitations of the pandemic, but really, we were antsy, waiting for something to change. The restrictions that COVID necessitated fostered a sort of pent-up, boiling excitement that exploded after they were lifted. It's really this year, in our senior year, that we really got to action, planning activities, messing around, exploring our neighborhoods and the creative minds of our peers. That excitement we had for our post-COVID ASIJ, I want us to have that for our post-ASIJ futures. We should think of our bubble popping not as some inevitable event to be feared, but as one final restriction that has at last been lifted. Dear Class of 23, we have learned too much and are far too talented not to shape the world in some meaningful manner. Whether that's music, art, activism, service, mathematics, science, sports, and yes, even finance, we will have fun in whatever we set out to do. Think of the world as your canvas and fun as your paintbrush. Let's paint the world black and gold. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Mark Johnson as the faculty speaker for the class of 2023.
Dr. Hardin, Ms. Zuber-Meehan, family, friends, and the class of 2023. The first part is to the parents. You wonder, how did it all go so fast? I know you have been down memory lane and can probably vividly remember them entering kindergarten or first grade. And now many of you are sending your child thousands of miles away, where after the cocoon of ASIJ, they will have to fend for themselves, make new friends, adjust many times to an unfamiliar country and culture, all without the safety net of having you or any family around. My wife and I had the same feelings with our oldest daughter 5 years ago. When my wife returned to Japan after taking her to college, she related that she left our shy daughter standing alone, which put my wife in tears as she drove back to the airport. And 2 days later, as we were both in Japan, we got a text from her where it was 2 a.m. with the dreaded words, "I need to talk to you now." With trepidation, we opened up FaceTime, and she was there sobbing. Our minds were racing, thinking she would say, "I hate it here. I want to come home." But through tears, she surprised us when she said, "I'm in so much trouble." "What's wrong?" we said, perplexed. She continued, "It was late tonight, and I was in a room with friends, and the campus police walked in and noticed an open beer can on the windowsill, and we must all appear in front of a disciplinary board." My wife and I looked at her, and we should have responded, "We did not pay thousands of dollars a year for you to engage in drunken revelry and mayhem." Instead, both of us simultaneously let out an audible sigh of relief and said, "Thank God she has friends." As parents, we can't help but worry. So I'm here to reassure you, they will make their way in the world. And as much as we harangue our kids for the inordinate amount of time they spend on their devices, sites like FaceTime have been a godsend. Use them and stay involved in their lives. The relationship will only get better as it transitions to one that is based more on equality. You are truly entering a magical time with your child as they are becoming an adult. And with modern technology, you can be with them every step of the way. And now to the class of 2023. I actually met some of you, if you remember, in 4th and 5th grade, when ASIJ, and perhaps their worst personnel move ever, asked me to be co-coach of the 4th, 5th grade basketball team. In high school, sarcasm is a teacher's best defense mechanism. And as my daughter Cooper can attest, it's our family's everyday language. So I figured I'd take the same tack with the 4th graders. Before our first scrimmage, I noticed some of these cute, innocent-looking youngsters were looking quite nervous. And so to add a little levity, I pointed at them, looked them straight in the eye, and snarled something like, "Victory or death." Who knew they would take things so literally? Some had a shocked, horrified look on their face. Some seemed near tears. Others wanted to run. Luckily, elementary teacher Grant Rolls, who is always such a calming influence, was the other coach, and he said, "Mark, sarcasm doesn't really work on fourth graders. You might want to ratchet it down a little bit." I do apologize for those who are traumatized, and Jim, sorry about that little dip in enrollment there for a while. We've come back. We've come back. I was talking to several of you. No class has ever entered high school with as much enthusiasm and zeal as you did. And then you faced COVID. But as a group, you came out of it well, both academically and socially. Academically, you had a stellar record until maybe second semester senior year. You're laughing, yeah. Yeah. And socially, though, many of the teachers have commented, you really are an incredibly cohesive class, probably due to all the time you spend in the halls rather than in class. But that's another thing. As I was talking to several of you the other day, I made the comment, though, contrary to popular opinion, it really is impossible for me to tell the difference between students of today and the ones when I first started teaching. You, like generations of the past, are curious, studious, yet you're also very fun-loving. You are teenagers. But I will admit, as much of a Luddite as I am, resisting new technology, watching you guys play selfie assassin with your phones really beats our evenings in the 70s of Pong and Space Invaders. And I will say your generation has really been asked to do so much. You've gone through COVID. You are faced with a deepening environmental crisis. You will soon be entering a workforce that is changing rapidly with the GPT phenomenon. All of this produces anxiety. So I asked former students and teachers what is one very quick piece of advice to give graduating seniors. I received some great responses ranging from the practical to the more philosophical. From several former students, they offered, go to the office hours of your professors. Really get to know them. You are on an incredible intellectual journey, and your professors really do want to hear what you think. And in conjunction with this, they said, take advantage of the resources a school has to offer. Over the last 20 years, colleges have really increased their physical and especially their mental health centers. Please don't think you can do it all by yourself. And from former teachers, one said, really look for the good in the others. In these politically polarized times, it's so easy to dismiss people before you ever listen to them. Give them a chance. You might be surprised how many things that you share. And finally, Dr. Datcher Koltner of UC Berkeley has written that seeking out awe-inspiring experiences, such as appreciating an incredible painting, listening to a stirring musical number, or viewing an amazing vista from nature, could lead to a significantly happier and healthier life. About a month ago, after Ms. Gessert instructed them in class on artists such as Manet, Monet, and Picasso, I took 40 students to the Wayno Museum of Art. I literally got goosebumps when I overheard one of them saying, seeing Monet's colors up close is just breathtaking. So going to a museum, viewing these works, or reading a novel by Toni Morrison or Tolstoy may not make you more money or improve your material life, but it will fire your imagination and can do so much to enrich your life. And I'm sure I speak for everyone here in thanking the ASIJ faculty and staff for providing such an amazing environment that has allowed you to grow as a person and intellectually. And on a personal note, for my wife and I, they are not only our colleagues, but they are our friends and have done so much for our family. And most importantly, I want to thank you, the class of 2023. As I now leave teaching, I can say it has been an incredible privilege to have you as my final class. You truly, truly are a remarkable group, and I look forward to hearing about so many of your accomplishments in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Please welcome Ms. Zuber Meehan, our high school principal, for the presentation of the class.
Good afternoon, families, faculty, staff, students, and our graduating class of 2023. What an honor it is to share this momentous celebration of your accomplishments and contributions to this community. Daily, I am humbled to serve as your high school principal. I routinely explain to people that I have the best job in the world, and I mean it. Each day, as an educator, I am pushed to rethink, to reconsider, and challenged to be a better person. And this is because you never stop learning, or rethinking, or reconsidering. Truly, class of 2023, you model the joy of learning. And so we are very fortunate today to have this opportunity with all of us gathered together here in this hall to honor you and your accomplishments thus far in your young lives. Today, we are graduating 146 seniors, including 3 early graduates. And as you can see by the flags behind me, our graduates represent 28 different countries, and their paths to ASIJ and this hall today are as varied as they are. We have some seniors who've been enrolled at ASIJ for most, if not all, of their education. Some joined us in high school, others middle or upper elementary. We have several seniors in the graduating class that started in the ELC or the early years of elementary school. Nearly 50 of you, in fact. As we celebrate the journeys of our seniors and their place as soon-to-be alumni today, let's take a snapshot of this class. Students, please stand as I read when you joined ASIJ. Audience, please join me in acknowledging the following groups of students. 7 seniors have been with us since the days of Robot Park at the ELC. Please stand. When they joined us, the iPad was released, truly heralding in the first time in schools where smartphones and tablets were the norm. Taylor Swift released 2 albums, Fearless and Speak Now. Height-wise, you were low to the ground, and Flo Rida and T-Pain's Low was the #1 song in 2008. You may have been busy watching Dinosaur Train, Jungle Junction, or Imagination Movers, but for the ultimate full circle moment, High School Musical 3, senior year, was released. Thank you. You may have a seat. Eight seniors have been with us since kindergarten. I invite them to stand. When you joined our playgrounds, a little company called Zoom was founded, along with the app Instagram, spawning a world of Finstas and Rinstas. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the movie, was released in theaters, and another Harry Styles, was one of 5 young kids who rocked up on the British series X Factor and formed One Direction. Of course, this is where Harry Styles got his musical start, and as it was, he's the artist we crushed you with at our faculty dance comps last week. Thank you. You may be seated. Eleven seniors remember their first days in grade 1 or 2 fondly. Please stand. As you joined ASIJ, selfie was first added to the dictionary. The anonymous blogger behind Gossip Girl was finally revealed. Candy Crush was one of the most popular global apps on the iPhone. And the earworm Call Me Maybe debuted on YouTube. And thanks to a star-studded lip dub, Carly Rae Jepsen became a phenom and the song a perennial prom hit. You may be seated. "22 seniors have been with us since grades 3, 4, or 5. I invite them to stand. In these upper elementary years, the Ice Bucket Challenge went viral, at the time one of the biggest social media trends to raise awareness for ALS research, and kicking off the social media activism your generation is known for. Anna and Elsa let it go with the theatrical release of Frozen. Misty Copeland trailblazed as the first Black principal dancer for the American Ballet Theater. The world went into another dimension as it went upside down and back to the 80s when Stranger Things premiered. And, wait for it, Hamilton opened on Broadway. You may have a seat. "31 seniors joined the herd in middle school. Please stand. It was all things fidget spinners and unicorns when you were in middle school, including the Starbucks Unicorn Frappuccino. Harry and Meghan got married, and if you'd like to know, parents, how fast time goes, the number 1 and 2 songs on Billboard's Top 100 the week that our 8th grader of our graduate's promotion ceremony was Old Town Road by Lil Nas X and Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. A couple of other songs from that list were some of the biggest theatrical releases that spring, most notably Black Panther, Into the Spider-Verse, and Avengers Endgame. Thank you. Have a seat. And finally, we were all in this together when 63 seniors joined us in high school. I invite them to stand. Your ninth grade year was the year that time upended itself as we entered the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to the home and hybrid learning, you binged streaming services. Ted Lasso reminded us that when things get hard, be a goldfish. Squid Game took over class comps. Among Us became the quarantine app of the year. With the whole world just wanting to dance with one another, TikTok hit over 1 billion daily users. BTS went on hiatus, and Taylor Swift broke Ticketmaster with her Eras tour, bringing us to the era of the class of 2023. Could I please invite all seniors to stand? It is essential to note that it takes every Mustang to make up this class of 2023. There are 146 ways to be a Mustang in this senior class. No matter when you and your family became part of our herd, once a Mustang, always a Mustang. Thank you for joining me in celebrating this remarkable graduating class. Seniors, you may sit down. This year, we have a number of faculty and staff who are departing ASIJ as well. Please join me in expressing our thanks and acknowledging their service. I ask them to please stand and remain standing as I call their names. John Milton, 3 years. Brad Ill, 3 years. Christy Raggio, 5 years. Brian Wilkinson, 6 years. Doug McQueen, 6 years. Mary Pfeiffer, 8 years. While not here in person today, however, watching via our live stream, we express our thanks to Sherry Neal, 13 years. Kevin Randall, 14 years. And Mark Johnson, 18 years. Colleagues, thank you for your compassion and your contributions to our Mustang community. How very fortunate our students are to be taught by you. Professionals dedicated to bringing out the best in our young people, laughing and learning and dancing alongside them. We're grateful for your service and we wish you all the best in your next adventures. Thank you. Finally, to the class of 2023, it is an honor to celebrate you and your contributions to ASIJ today. Just now, as you stood, I outlined a couple of pop culture milestones that were happening in the world alongside your joining our school. What I didn't mention was the absolutely astounding and astonishing pace of change that our world has seen over the past 14 years. The technological, scientific, social, economic, political changes that have marked the past decade plus. We would have been here all day if I'd included that. For example, in 2010, when you were in kindergarten, statisticians determined that 1.2 zettabytes, that's a 1 with 18 zeros, of new data had been created worldwide that year. Now, we're more than 100 times that. And that was before ChatGPT 3.0, released only 6 months ago, and now already obsolete. Every note could have been about the staggering set of numbers around our warming planet and our need to take climate action. And we've certainly received our marching orders to ensure that we're creating a more just and equitable world. It's daunting, yes. And as I think about the class of 23, I have seen you open to these challenges, embrace them even. You're not completely overwhelmed by them. You're curious. You're dreaming up the solutions and advancements that might help get us out of our predicaments. One scientific advancement arrived in people's mailboxes when many of you were entering nursery school. Spit in a vial, send it to a lab, and the company will look at your DNA and send back your results. Hereditary markers, explanation of traits, the parts of you that are baked in. That company is 23andMe. Which got me thinking, what's the DNA of the class of 23? What are the markers of this class? Yes, there's the fact that you're part of the generation of graduates who came into school with smartphones, tablets, and the proliferation of data at your fingertips as a given. And what we've seen here at ASIJ is that you're unafraid to see inequities, urgencies, the big questions that are in our world, and use your platforms and your voices for change. You bring courage and conviction to this work. Perhaps there's no better example of this than the work you did to engage our community in important conversations about calling out the perpetuation of sexual harassment and violence. You called out, but you also called in, an important distinction in a world that can be quick to cancel one another and slow to be willing to listen and learn from each other. When Shiori Ito visited us in March, there was incredible power in seeing 20 plus of you on the stage, knowing that there were so many more of you in the audience. There was even more power knowing that this was just the beginning of the work. In the days and weeks and months that followed, the thoughtful conversations that occurred peer-to-peer, faculty to student, faculty to faculty, across academics, co-curricular, sports, it has us speaking openly about our experiences, inviting others in to understand the impact of words, and making clear that we will not tolerate actions that degrade one another on the basis of gender or identity, and teaching each other how we can be better. Ms. Ito wrote in her book, Black Box, "If I waited for someone else to speak out, things would never change." You spoke out. You could have coasted into second semester senioritis, but you didn't. And now you're helping to carry the work forward. And I'm so excited for you to visit as alumni to see the continued impact of your voices. What else is part of your DNA? It's the support for one another and what teamwork looks like. Among the many examples I can think of, I'll share two today that demonstrate what a healthy dose of joy as a team can do. The first, our wrestling team. 5 years and a pandemic ago, your predecessors set out to win the Kanto Plains League Championship after a disappointing season. To do so, student leaders said, you'd need to be a team, put others over self, build a culture of holding each other accountable, and see one another as a part of each other's successes and failures. This winter, that plan came to fruition, and the team won the league championship on our own campus. You want to see teamwork in action? Attend a wrestling match. A grade 9 student said, I couldn't tell which matches were varsity and which were JV and which were exhibition, because they were a team first and foremost. Similarly, this year's debate team took home the trophy for their season's performance. We watched seniors that had been together for 4 years push each other's thinking, provide critical feedback, and if you were witness to any of their debates, hear lots of humor and puns. ASIJ's debate tournament became must-see viewing as we got to see debaters who were having a truly wonderful time thinking together. And when they won, the first thing they did is they thanked all of their coaches who had helped them along the way. It was the process of becoming a team that led to the product of these league championships. And that collaborative spirit is found in so many places in this class, whether it's serving on a sustainability committee, speaking out about ethical use of AI and academic integrity, being a part of a mentoring of younger students with class buddies, inviting rising 9th graders to join your club in sport. It's this commitment to the greater team that's a part of this class's makeup. Your DNA is also in those small moments that perhaps only a handful of you know about. For so many of you, over the course of your time in high school, you've been quietly working through some very big things. Sometimes these big things are only talked about with a couple of trusted friends, a counselor, an adult. They're not the kinds of moments that are recognized at awards assemblies, during a pep rally, or at an end-of-season banquet. But your ability to navigate and persevere when it feels difficult or even impossible are momentous and worth celebrating nonetheless. There's a resilience to this class, perhaps born out of the pandemic, perhaps born out of these urgent times. When some of us know those very big things and we see your friends surround you, lift you up, work together to ensure that your days include smiles in spite all that is going on in the shadows, it is moving. And as you move on to your next adventure, wherever it is, and you find yourself up against something that feels so big again, because you will, remember that the silver lining to being born with smartphones and tablets under your arm is that a compassionate support network is truly just a DM away. Yes, 23andMe. We've heard the stories too, those surprises. You've had your share of those as well. Not necessarily long-lost relatives that we now know about, but the ability to navigate unpredictability as the first class to have all 4 years of your high school experience touched in some way by a global pandemic. You could have complained, turned off your camera, muted your mic, but instead, when events came back online, you had fun and celebrated what you could without taking the ability to do so for granted. You thanked your coaches and your teachers for the opportunity to travel again after 3 years, and you bought the matching shirts. You cheered at the ability to go mask optional and opened up your cafeteria tables when you finally did not have to sit 2 meters apart. And there was that other surprise, of course, that you also almost lost class comps to the juniors. Seriously though, class of 2023, you've been influencers here at ASIJ. Your markers on our school include your voice, your teamwork, your resilience, your compassion, your embrace of opportunities. You'll be entering new spaces in just a few months' time, whether college or work experience, serving your country or your community. Those spaces need young people like you, people who use their voices when others stand by, people who lift others up by inviting them onto the team, people who offer a hand when they see someone who needs a boost, people who can adapt and be flexible when life introduces inevitable surprise, and people who don't take advantage of any of their advantages in this world. As you leave our hallways and take those next steps, remember what's in your DNA. You've got this, and we've got all of you. Thank you for what you've done to leave ASIJ in a better place than where it started. I am grateful. And now it gives me great pleasure to say that we will transition to the presentation of the diplomas to the class of 2023. I'd like to invite ASIJ's Vice Chair of the Board of Directors, Mr. Marcus Okuno, and Dr. Harden to join me, Dr. Augustine, Mr. Nelson, and Ms. Takano in presenting the diplomas to the class of 2023.
Ms. Zuber-Meehan, Dr. Harden, and Mr. Okuno, the following seniors have met the requirements for graduation from the American School in Japan, and we will present them to you at this time. Misa Sophie Abrahams. Alan Nathan Alaman.
Kazuma Ando. Ren Aomi. Daiki Asano.
Aether Battaglia Chu.
Jason Kai Che.
Zana Bukhari.
Bryce 大使 Clement.
Ryan Cokerdem DePriest.
Coco Lane Colwell. Sola Lorraine Toshima Corrado. Mia Mariko Corrigan.
James Curtis. Mahima Lalitha Dattaguru. Lisa Lynn Dorich. J. Robert Dosser. Annika Inez Elstrom. Leia Danfeng Epstein. Kai Aaron.
Sarah Elizabeth Fahy.
Carter Fallon. Yoav Feldman. Thomas Ferret.
Hannah Barbara Freeman. Lola Michiko Fujii. Kota Fujioka. Sara Fujishima. Shun Fujita. Ei Fukumoto.
Mateo Hiro Martin. Nicolas Hiro Martin.
Tyler Nogami Goldstein. Nozomi Sky Grimo.
Ryan Lucian Haddad.
Mia Grace Hamaguchi. Anna Haneda. Anne-Marie Mariko Hashimoto. Yuta Hata. Line Takuya Hisada.
Harold Hogberg. Malin Nanami Holjo.
Momo Anna Maria Horii. Kai Jurek Hyodo.
Paviola Simone Eisenberg.
Tomoki Ishikawa. Hana Ito.
Justin Kubota Iverson. Lamin Jeppy.
Amelie Cooper Gizzard Johnson. Daya Kaneko.
Yo Kano. Andrew Kashiwagi. Tae Kim. Henri Kim Godbout.
Jadis Maika Kinno Nixon. Thomas Gabriel Knapp Mizushima.
Arman Kochar.
Lily Kondo.
Sarah Michelle Kohata. Sophia Cecilia Kruger.
Aryan Kumar. Lisa Kunitake.
Hannah Lee. Tristan Joseph Austin Lee. Esperanza Isabella Littlefield. Jonah Macarios. Mason Machek.
Chelsea Chiho Maeda.
Cecile Mantle.
Felix Kentaro Mathis. Koharu Matsuki.
Stefan Marino. Nathan Michaels. Leon Victor Miller. Ella Morse.
Haechan Myung. Mayu Nakayoshi.
Kent Newrider.
Ryuichi Niwa. Elena Noda.
Saya Adriana Nyland.
Shin Okuno.
Jack Stephen O'Neill.
Alexandra Natsumi O'Shea. Natsune Otake. Claire Ayaka Ozeki.
Kylie Peck.
Sean Alexander Kono Peck. Max Yohe Phillips.
Kiara Pivko. Sam Quaid. Luke Raffone. Oliver Raffone. Aisha Rakyan.
Drake Yuta Reese.
Ellie Vivian Riley. Peter Polinik Reisten. William Richards. Ian Reef. Brianne Marie Roberts.
Ella Grace Rolls. Gregor Thomas Rolls.
Harriet Nellie Rosenberg.
Yukari Matsui Roskamp. Ray Richard Saito.
Ronan Maxwell Salate.
Ryo Sarashina.
Arnav Anand Sarvaya.
Nico Sawaki.
Miyu Kaneko Strepfer.
Joseph Robert Schultz. Rico Grace Schultz.
Ava Grace Schwabecker. Timothy David Scott. Vivian Leanne Seals. Ethan Seltzer.
Joanne Sherlock. Kaisei Kunieda Smith.
Max Riki Smith.
Mei Sonoda.
Lucas Garcia Sauter Yuson. Lila Vassar Sauter Yuson. Marta Spola. Ananya Srinivasan. Emile Jeffrey Stone Bourgeois.
Leo Daichi Sugino. Moeka Sugiyama. Erika Takai. Sho Takeyasu. Yuna Tamai. Ethan Yuki Tamanaha. Miyu Tanabe. Hinoto Max Tanaka. ココ戸田。
Arn Jan van der Vorst. Charles Vermeer. Danya Doshin Wang. Le Tien Wang. Koya Wise. Kala Wilcox. Nathaniel Oliver Wilson. Amalie Solana Wright.
Len Yamabe. Peyton Lea Yamanaka.
And Senna Young. Before we conclude our ceremony, we are pleased to share the senior video. This video was created by members of the senior class to capture and commemorate their time at ASIJ together. Please enjoy.
On a bus?
I'm on my way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kai, where are you?
I'm on my way.
Okay. Kai,
Sorry,
Kai, where are you?
Stuck at the train station. There was an accident.
Joey,
Stuck at the
Joey, are you at an airport? Hey guys, can you guys turn on your cameras? We have a Stuco meeting, right? Hey Nico. There we go. Okay. There's everybody. Wait, Nico, are you on a bus?
Yeah. I'm on my way.
Okay. Kai, where are you? Hey guys, can you guys turn on your cameras? We have a Stuco meeting, right? Hey, Nico. There we go. Okay. There's everybody. Wait, Nico, are you on a bus?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Okay. Kai, where are you?
Sorry, I'm like stuck at the train station. There was an accident.
Joey, are you at an airport?
Yeah, I can work remotely now, man. I'm heading out. I'm going to Okinawa.
And then where's Ryan? We need Ryan. Yeah. Whoa. Ryan, are you at a pep rally?
Were we supposed to be there?
Yeah, I was like, thought we had a Stuco meeting. Like, what? But then we're like, where's Nozomi?
Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I'll be there really running right now.
Nozomi, where were you?
What? Wait, what?
You're so late. Come on, put your full glasses on.
Okay.
Take the flag. Take the flag.
Class of 23?
Smush. Yeah, 21. The biggest. Put it in the chicken wing.
21, can you do something for me?
21.
Can you hit a little rich flex for me?
21.
Then 21, can you do something for me?
21.
Drop some bars to my ex for me. Then 21, can you do something for me? Can you talk to the ops next for me?
Okay.
21, do your thing. 21, do your thing.
21.
Do your thing. 21, do
Yellow
your
diamonds
thing.
in the watch.
You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
Someone took a big L, don't know how that felt. Looking at you sideways, party on tilt. Ooh, certain things you just can't refuse. She wanna ride me like a cruise, and I'm not trying to lose. Then you're left in the dust, unless I stuck by ya. You're a sunflower. I think your love would be too much, or you'd be left in the dust, unless I stuck by ya. You're the sunflower. You're the sunflower.
I ain't been getting.
Well, maybe a little, baby, I don't wanna lie. I know when you text me, girl, I don't always reply. Well, you're not an angel either, you can't even fly. I know this, you think that you know. All this shade that's coming at me, I wonder who throws it. They can't see the vision, boy, they must be out of focus. That's a real hot album, homie, I wonder who wrote it.
Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, like a drug. Oh, Ophelia, heaven help a fool who falls in love. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood. Oh, Ophelia, heaven help a fool who falls in love. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, like a drug. Oh, Ophelia, heaven help a fool who falls in love.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty.
I'm so fancy. You already know I'm in the fast lane. From LA to Tokyo, I'm so fancy. Can't you taste this gold? Remember my name. To blow.
I wanna do you like Michael. I wanna kiss you like Prince. Let's get it on like Marvin Gaye, like Hathaway. Write a song for you like this. You're over my head, I'm out of my mind. Thinking I was cool in the wrong time. One of a kind, living in a world gone plastic. Baby, you're so classic. Everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks too much. It started with a whisper, and now it's when I kissed her, and then she made my lips hurt. I can hear the chit chat. Take me to your love shack. Mama's always got a backtrack when everybody talks, babe.
You and I will be young forever. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. Let's run away and don't ever look back. Don't ever look back.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep. 'Cause they fill the open air and leave teardrops everywhere. You'd think me rude, but I would just stand and stare. I'd like to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep. 'Cause everything is never as it seems.
This is my 164th hour of editing.
Wait, seriously?
I think so.
Editing begins.
I say I'm too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music.
take that jump, but don't fear the fall. Hope when the water rises, you build a wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, you're screaming nothing. Hope if everybody runs, you choose. Hope that you fall in love, it hurts so bad. The only way you can know is to give it all you have. Hope that you don't suffer, take the pain. When the moment comes, you'll say, I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I did it all. I did it all. I own every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I said, whoa, whoa, I swear. 3, 2, 1.
Can we please give a round of applause to Hannah Ito and the team that made that wonderful video? Please welcome back to the stage Student Body Class President Nozomi Graimo to present the ASIJ Class of 2023.
Good afternoon, proud parents, relieved faculty, excited friends, and the distinguished class of 2023. It is truly an honor for me to be speaking to you all today. In these last few minutes we have left as high schoolers, I'd like to thank the people who've guided us to this very moment. To our families, you truly were the cornerstone of our high school careers. No words could ever express the gratitude we have for you for giving us this education and life. Your love and support propelled us through high school, and we owe so much of our success to you. To our teachers, thank you for sharing your love of learning and constantly pushing us to be our best selves. Not only are you wonderful educators, but serve as powerful role models, showing us what passion in action looks like. And to our ASIJ administrators, despite such turbulent times, thank you so much for not giving up on giving us the best education possible. You were always thinking about students first, and we are so lucky to have been led by such dedicated and professional leaders like you. And finally, to our friends. To think we're at the end of our four-year high school journey is daunting, but the friendships we've built along the way are what we will treasure for a lifetime. Thank you. I distinctly remember my first day ever at ASIJ. It was my freshman year. After stressing the night before about what to wear, I recall walking into a humid book locker room full of rambunctious upperclassmen and cacophonous pandemonium. I was overwhelmed, to say the least. There were boys with real beards and girls who confidently bared their belly buttons. Coming from a much smaller middle school, I felt like the smallest of fish in the biggest of ponds. In hindsight, though, I know I wasn't the only one feeling that way. To begin with, there were almost 50 new students just like me in freshman year alone, and as the new meat in high school, we collectively felt small, as if we didn't have a voice. We were the timid kids who would move out of the way of upperclassmen, and we were the kids afraid to be seen walking alone in the hallway because we didn't want to be seen as friendless losers. Little did we know what an even bigger upheaval was coming our way. When the COVID-19 pandemic derailed our lives in the second semester of our senior year, our already small freshman voices felt all but diminished. We all became dependent on our phones and computers to connect with the outside world, get an education, and just barely maintain our friendships. Being heard meant sending texts in all caps, spamming your Snapchat stories, or posting a viral TikTok video. We began to question, what does it even mean to have a voice? When you're confined to the prison of your four-walled bedroom in agonizing boredom in the midst of a global pandemic, I think we all felt very, very small. Only when hybrid learning was finally introduced in our sophomore year, we had a chance to tiptoe into a slightly more normal high school experience. It opened up a whole new world for us, and our voices slowly started to grow again. Some of us applied for iGEM, started prepping for AP Art, joined the pit band, took up field hockey, or started more community service through Hands on Tokyo. For me, I decided to audition for the fall play. Theater was a way for me to challenge my introverted self. And going in, I didn't think I'd fit. I wouldn't really have classified myself as a theater kid, nor was I very outgoing. Yet, the warm community I found there made me feel like my say mattered. In junior year, we collectively bonded over our shared stress of APs, grades, and maintaining a work-life balance. Many say junior year at ASIJ is more difficult than freshman year in college, but we all rose to the challenge of that feared junior year and triumphed, and it was all because of the support we gave each other. Those shared APUSH review docs we'd work on until midnight, mornings where half the grade would be seen with a kiosk coffee in hand, and that common reassurance, it's okay, I didn't finish that assignment either, knit our grade together without us even realizing it. And then, in just the blink of an eye, senior year rolled around. We found that that quiet voice of our freshman year wasn't really that quiet anymore. In fact, in a literal sense, our class cheer became at least triple the decibels of our freshman year cheers. And why does this matter? Because in order to have a loud cheer, we need to have developed confidence in ourselves, our achievements, and our experiences. Over the ups and downs of these past 4 years, we as individuals found our voices. And those independent voices turned into the loud and energetic voice of the class of 23 that has rocked the halls of ASIJ this year. And let me get this straight. I'm not just talking about how physically loud we are, but I am also talking about the way everyone uses their voice. Anyone can use their voice to be loud, but I think real change comes when you know when and how to harness that voice. And this year, our grade truly exemplified that. Whether it be advocating against sexual harassment within our very own community, writing and directing a whole screenplay for the one-act plays from scratch, or helping rewrite the school's entire environmental policy, students from the class of 23 listened to the voices of their passions and acted upon it. These are real accomplishments by people in our grade, and while I didn't name names, the people cited here know who they are. Our grade acts with a purpose. In college, we're going to be the freshmen again. For many of us, we will be in a foreign country, and we may feel like our voice has yet again been diminished. We will all be challenged to break out of our shells and find new friends and integrate into what may feel like an alien culture. But we won't be alone. If we could find our voices once here at ASIJ, we can do it anywhere. But this time, we will have the support of everyone in this room. Although this may be the last time we will all be gathered in a room together, unless, of course, we have a class reunion, thanks Ryan and Tomo, physical distance doesn't mean we won't be connected at heart. 146 of us graduates here all shared one of the best times of our life together, and that makes our connection so valuable, no matter the physical distance between us. Maybe I'm biased, but I truly believe that our grade has a special flair. As individuals, we are incredibly diverse and distinctive, but as a cohort of classmates, we are collaborative and complementary. We're strong, determined, ambitious, but we are also compassionate, caring, and down to earth. We are the people who produce music for the Pokemon Kids channel, scored 17 soccer goals in a season, released original music on 30+ streaming platforms, gone undefeated in an East Asian wrestling tournament, created batteries from E. coli bacteria, and taught a classroom full of Cambodian children English every single week. This room is literally overflowing with excitement and purpose. Class of 2023, let us not lose confidence in our passionate voices. Let us not lose sight of our individuality. Let us always be courageous. And let us not forget what a blessing it was to have gone through high school together. Thank you. Class of 2023, please stand. Please turn and face the audience. Move your tassel from right to left. family, and friends, I present to you the graduates, the ASIJ class of 2023.
Excuse us, please. Before departing the theater, please listen closely to the following announcements.
皆様、ご退席される前に、今から申し上げますことを心に留めていただければ幸いです。
For people taking ASIJ buses to return to school, the buses are waiting for you in the parking lot where you were dropped off. Please exit via the lobby and proceed to the back of the hall where our buses are waiting.
ASIJ のバスで学校に戻られる方は、皆様がバスからお降りになりました駐車場内の同じ場所でバスがお待ちしておりますので、後方の出口よりご退場ください。
At this time, please take a second to double check to see if you have all your personal belongings and everything that you brought into the theater. Please do not leave anything behind.
今一度ご退場されます前に、このホールにお持ち込みになりましたすべてのものをご確認いただき、お忘れ物がないかをお確かめください。
Thank you for attending ASIJ's commencement ceremony for the class of 2023. We sincerely hope that you enjoyed this memorable experience, and we will see you at ASIJ for our reception.
皆様、本日は ASIJ2023 年度卒業式にご列席いただき誠にありがとうございました。本日が皆様の思い出深い一日となりますことを心より願っております。それでは学校のレセプションでお会いいたしましょう。ありがとうございました。
I am so sorry I made a mistake.